Hi guys, I'm Sammy. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make a YouTube video about how to pick a good Chinese name on your own. That's right. So naming is a big deal in Chinese culture. It's tied to traditions, family values, and hopes for the future. Picking a name is a meaningful process. There are many ways to do it, and there are many things you need to take into consideration. Today I'm going to break it down so it will be easier for you to understand. Then when you do it, you will think, such a piece of cake, of course I can do it on my own. Alright, without further ado, let's start today's video. So first thing you need to know is name structure. In China, the family name always comes before the given name. This shows how important family and ancestry are. Common family names like Zhang Wang and Zhao Li are shared by millions of people. This reflects the collective nature of Chinese society. Just like I mentioned, a Chinese name has two parts. First, family name, correct. And then, yes, the given name. Let me explain it with the famous actor, Cillian Murphy. So, we all know Cillian, his given name, and Murphy, his family name. So, in China, the same name would be Murphy Cillian. Yes, with the family name Murphy comes in the front. It's pretty simple, right? Now let's talk about how to make the name meaningful. So, as you know, Chinese characters are packed with meanings. Parents often pick characters that reflect positive traits or hopes for their children. For instance, the character Wei means great, and here the character Li means beautiful. Names like Wei Qiang or Li Na express parents' wishes for their children. Then, any other ways to pick a good Chinese name? Sure, definitely. Let me show you two most popular traditional practices here. Some parents go deeper into the traditional Chinese philosophy that might use the concept of yin yang wu xing, yin yang and the five elements, to balance their children's life. For instance, if a child is believed to lack, let's say, the water element, then a character like Hai, meaning sea, might be added to the name. That's making a name here. Say the family name is Zhao. For a boy, let's pick Hai Qiang, means strong as the sea. And for a girl, Hai Qing, clear and bright as the sea. So, Zhao Hai Qiang or Zhao Hai Qing. Pretty good name. Both names are very easy to remember and have good meanings. Some other parents prefer history, literature, or philosophy for inspirations. For instance, Shi Jing, the Book of Songs, is a popular source. Let's take the talented poet from Southern Song Dynasty, Zhou Bangyan, as an example here. His names come from a line in the Book of Songs, 比其之子，邦之彦兮. That man is a distinguished talent of the country. And in reality, he's from a very well-educated family. His father never been an official, but he had a collection of thousands of books. His uncle was a very famous local poet, and his elder brother was official at the imperial court. And he himself, for obvious reasons, that's why I mentioned him here, had a great achievement in poem back at the days. So you see, names like this often shows a family's education and cultural background. If someone has a name from like classical texts, it usually means their family values like learning and traditions. Yes, of course, there are modern trends when picking a name. So today, some parents will choose modern or international sounding names like Zixuan, Xinyi, and some other names are very popular for their elegant and trendy feel. So what else should we know when picking a Chinese name, besides all the traditional practices or modern trends? Yes, there's one more thing we need to remember. That is, there are gender specific names. Actually, it's quite the same with English names, I think. Let's say Samuel for boys and Samantha for girls. It would be like pretty weird to hear a girl named Samuel or a boy named Samantha. No, it's the same case with Chinese names. Some characters are more often for boys and some other are more for girls. For example, Qiang, meaning strong, is often used for boys, and Ting here, meaning graceful, is more common for girls. But unisex names are also very popular. Just make sure the name fits the gender you are aiming for. By now, I think you've already grasped the general idea of how to pick a good Chinese name, or you've already picked one, and I'm sure it's a pretty good one. Then you only need to remember there are few things to be avoided when picking a Chinese name. Let's see what to avoid.
First, to keep it short. Most Chinese names are 2 to 3 characters. If your surname, your family name, sounds like a 2-character family name, in Chinese is 复姓. You can use 4 characters. Let's see an example. So this time, let's take the famous Jon Stewart as our example here. Because Jon Stewart's family name is Stewart translated into Chinese with by pronunciation and the sound, it's Stuart. The first character, Stu, happens to be a 2-character family name in Chinese. So if Jon Stewart would like to have a Chinese name, he can definitely use Stu as his Chinese family name, and then pick another 2 characters less meaningful and suits him best. Then he would have a perfect Chinese name. Second, avoid bad meanings. Make sure the name doesn't sound like a negative word or have an unlucky meaning. For example, the number 4 sounds like death in Chinese, so it's avoided. Another thing you need to avoid, I think, is don't try copying famous people's name, I guess. Just basically avoid using any names of famous or infamous people. Let's say Qin Hui, he's a historical villain, or Lin Daiyu, a character from The Dream of Red Chamber. Just, like their name has a certain meaning to Chinese people. Because when they hear it, I would just associate their name with its own person from like certain era, which wouldn't like necessarily means good stuff. So I highly recommend you just don't take famous people's name as your own. And one other thing I think you need to avoid is don't go too big. Names with overly grand meanings might feel too heavy for some people. I can still recall one of my classmates in my elementary school. Yes, elementary school, I think. The boy's name is, I'll just say his given name, is Tianlong, which means dragon from heaven. Wow. I mean, that's a pretty good name, I admit that, but it has such a grand meaning that usually parents won't name kids after that. So when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, I definitely I can recall like maybe one or twice at least, like I can hear other parents like talking or discussing. Oh, it's more like chit chatting, like well, they are pretty sure he's a good looking, like handsome boy for sure, but can he like take the burden of such a grand name? So it's also another thing in China, in Chinese culture, to take into consideration when you making your Chinese name. Okay, I think that's all several important things you need to try to avoid while picking a good Chinese name. So, anyway, Chinese names are a mix of traditions, philosophy, and personal hopes. Each name tells a story about the family's value and dreams for the child. Whether rooted in Asian practices or modern trends, Chinese names reflect the richness of Chinese culture and the importance of identity.
Okay, if you guys need any help on picking a good Chinese name, or you've already picked one on your own, you just want someone to look at for you, just leave me a comment below. I'll definitely check it out. If you like my video, please give me a thumb up and hit the subscribe button to follow me for more. I guess that's all for today. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!